this, I think. Says I'm live now over here. Now let me reload this. Bring out the pop-out chat here. Says I'm live now over here. Now let me reload this. Now I can mute that and then do the usual thing where I fumble around on Facebook. Which is totally fun. Okay, why isn't this thing posting? Now. Post. Alright, so. Doesn't say if anyone's watching right now. Do I need to reload this? That's making me sad. Okay, one watching now. That's all right. I guess, what better time than now? Hey guys, RanterInShades here. Excised my First Amendment rights, stream style. How you doing? Those of you watching. So, if you saw the community tab post I made today, gears are beginning to turn. I'm wanting to try to end the hiatus and come back with something. It's just a matter of figuring out what I would like to come back with. But for now, I just want to do something a little simple, something that doesn't require too much planning for now, because, when scripting, that requires a lot of planning. So, what I'm wanting to do in this stream is, if you've watched the likes of Adam Neely or Become the Night, they've made some videos about this musical IQ test that was made by Harvard, and I would like to take this test for you because it seems like fun. You can be sure I don't have, either of their videos, memorized or anything like that, so I know what the right answers are. There's only, maybe a couple things about it that I remember. But other than that, that is what I would like to do for this stream, and we'll probably also be talking about the old coronavirus, because I'm sure it's on lots of people's minds. So, I'm just gonna noodle around on guitar for a little bit, wait for more people to show up, and then we'll get started on this. All right, we got some people in the chat now. Hello, Avenue Teal and Hector Gonzalez. Nice of you guys to show up. Have I listened to the new Code Orange? Yes, I have. It is one of the most recent new additions in my iTunes. That, along with the new Silverstein, which I thought was kind of underwhelming, but not awful. Definitely the poppiest I've ever heard from them. The Code Orange album, I would say, was probably better. Do I have any plans to listen to the upcoming Vermicid Violence record? I never heard of that. Do I own any vinyl? The only vinyl that I have... Hold on, let me put this down. The only vinyl that I have... I showed this off in the Best Songs of 2017 video. It's Chan's Homie. This is it. It's just a nice little decoration down here. Because I don't own a record player, which is kind of why I don't collect it. I got that in a VIP package from Chan back in 2017, but that's it as far as vinyl goes. Anyway, I think that's enough noodling around for now. So, no, I've not... I don't know who Lauren Branigan is, but anyway, I think it's about time that I start this this IQ test here. And sorry if the window capture is glitchy at all. I don't know what the deal is with that, but this is what I'm going to be doing for most of the stream, is this thing right here. So, once again, if you're just popping in right now and didn't hear me talking about this, if you watch Adam Neely or Become the Night and have seen their videos about this musical IQ test, I'm going to be taking that here. So Let's read what it says here. This experiment is being conducted by researchers at Harvard University. Before you decide to participate, please read the following information. We study how the mind works. Specifically, in this research, we are investigating how people make sense of music they hear. We will play you some sounds. You can use speakers or headphones. We will ask you questions about what you hear. The experiment takes at least 20 minutes. Okay. We will ask you to answer questions concerning your emotions and behaviors, your preferences and beliefs about music and the arts, your engagement with musical activities, your personal history of music exposure and training, and some demographic information about you and your family. I don't remember either Adam or Mike talking about this in their videos, but okay. We will also ask you to look at pictures or words and respond to them. This helps us to understand a bit more about how you are feeling. For example, you might feel especially happy or sad while playing our games, and this task helps us to measure how happy or sad you feel. This research has no known risk or anticipated direct benefits. You will not receive compensation for participating in this experiment. I'm not asking for compensation. If they want to pay me, cool, but I'm not expecting that. Your participation in this research is completely voluntary. You can end your participation at any time without penalty. Your participation is completely anonymous. Your responses will be stored securely on a server at Harvard University under password protection. Your experiment data may be shared with other researchers. The results and data from this experiment will be shared with the public. After the experiment, we will explain several ways to be informed about the research. If you have questions or problems, you can contact us at that. By proceeding, you agree to participate in this experiment. Let me just see the chat is saying over here. The Strokes are back. Yeah, I think I heard about the Strokes back. I don't really pay attention to the Strokes. Reptilia is kind of a cool song. That's really all I know from them. I think it's an okay song. I don't think the Strokes are awful or anything like that. Just not that. I just don't really pay that much attention to them. But anyway, so if you guys don't know, I was a music technology major in college from 2012 to 2016. And prior to this, I took AP Music Theory in high school and got me waived from Theory 1 by the time I was in college, which was pretty cool. I was kind of ahead of the curve, I guess. I like to think I was pretty smart when it came to theory. I don't think I'm a genius or anything like that. And I'm sure the results of this are going to kind of prove that. There's some things I'm a little rusty on probably, but this will kind of show you, those of you that kind of view me as a genius of any kind, how much of a genius I am or anything like that. Thoughts on Stacy's Mom? It's a fun song, I guess. Music technology. I suppose I should also mention the college I went to. I revealed it in one of my videos by the time I graduated, Manhattanville College in Purchase, New York. They offer technology as a concentration within music over there. There's performance, business, education, technology, and musical theater. And I went with technology because at the time I wanted to go into audio engineering. I kind of decided against that at this point, but yeah. So let's begin this. Have you played this game before? Well, I've watched 2 YouTubers do this. I don't know if that counts. Think about how you feel while you listen to music. In general, how do you enjoy music? So, I'm definitely on this end, given that it's a big part of what I talk about on here, as well as in my personal life. Most people know me for being a complete dork when it comes to talking about music, particularly music I like. I'm going to put it, right over here. Maybe a little lower, because there's always that end that, is kind of apprehensive, I guess. So, how good do you think your music listening skills are? Things like remembering melodies, hearing out-of-tune notes, or hearing a beat that is out of sync with the music. either worse than other people or better than other people. I would say probably here. I do have perfect pitch. I can name notes. I can name I can name intervals. Certain chords I'm kind of rusty with, not the greatest with, which is why a big part of why I don't like to call myself a genius about this stuff at all. But I have generally perfect pitch, I like to think. So I'm going to put it like there. First, we'll play you a calibration tone. Listen to the tone and turn up the volume on your device until the calibration tone is at a loud but comfortable level. Press any key to continue. And I'll try to keep up with the chat as I'm doing this. I'm a dork about music too. It's how I open every conversation with strangers. That's the kind of people that my content is supposed to appeal to, I guess. Press any key to continue. All right. I'm gonna get copyright claimed, yeah, no money for me, da, 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 da. Okay, so, before I do this, can you guys just tell me if you heard that, okay? With the type of guitar you use affect your guitar playing? Like, would you have a different playing technique, a less pawl-shaped guitar than a Strat-shaped one? I like to think it doesn't really matter that much. Some people think it does, depending on, like, different woods you use or what kind of neck you're using. Some people even think that a floating bridge affects the tone. I've always been kind of skeptical about that. But I don't know. I like to think it's more about the amp, the pedals, the strings, maybe, than it is about anything else. Okay, you heard the Mario theme there, fine. So that's good, because if you aren't able to hear it, that would be a problem, and this stream would be completely pointless. What is your gender? Male, female, or ooh, other, ooh. And what is up, Space Metal? Ferrari, yo. I'm going to be talking about that after I finish this little test here. But yeah. Do I even make money on my videos? No. It's a joke. If I was, I would, if I was, I would, I would probably be getting monetization claimed. Even if I still get copyright claims on my videos, even if they aren't monetized, so it doesn't really make a difference. I really don't like getting copyright claims, because I just don't think I should be getting it. Okay, but yeah, male. How old are you? 26. Continue. Where do I live? Country, United States. What is your native language? English. Do I have hearing impairment? You'd think so, but no. I've never actually been wearing earplugs to any of the concerts I've been to. My hearing should be terrible, but it isn't. When you were singing, can you tell if you are out of tune or off key? Maybe not in the moment so much as if I'm listening to myself. I'm going to say not sure for this. Felix Wolf is here too. Cool. I identify as a good boy. You are a very good boy. You are one of the goodest of boys. Can you tap in time with a musical beat? Yes, because I was originally a drummer, if you can see the drums back there at all, before guitar ended up sort of taking over as my primary instrument. Tell us about the place where you are playing this game. A very noisy place, somewhat noisy, somewhat quiet, and a very quiet. Well, there's nobody down here right now. So, are you wearing headphones? No. In this game, you'll take part in 3 short tests of musical ability. Each of the 3 tests is separate from one another and is about a different musical ability. Beat perception, tuning perception, and melodic discrimination. Different people spend different amounts of times on this game, but it usually takes at least 20 minutes to finish. You will earn points. I don't recall there being points earned. By listening carefully and answering questions about the music we play you, at the end, we'll give you a score, your musical IQ. Your broad shoulders block the drums. Maybe you'll see it if I... Actually, I know why you aren't seeing it, because I'm not on my main window over here. There they are. Back to here. So continue. You are now taking test 1 of 3. This test is about hearing tuning in music. For each question on this test, you will hear 2 examples of the same music. Sometimes the singer will be in tune with the music, but in other clips, the singer will be out of tune with the music. Your job is to choose the example where the singer is more out of tune. What's the deal with decent drummers becoming great guitarists? Richard Lloyd from Television, Dimebag Darrell, Eddie Van Halen as well. He originally started as a drummer, and Alex Van Halen was a guitarist, and they decided to switch. And they ended up being amazing at it. All right, so first let's listen to some examples. Continue. In this example, the singer is in tune with the music. Click here to play. Continue. I'm sure some indie snobs would probably tell you that that sounds fine. All right. Let's practice. You will hear 2 examples of the same music. In one example, the singer will be in tune, and the other example, the singer will be out of tune. Your job is to choose where the singer is more out of tune. All right.
So goodbye to Bolero, my sentimental friend. I don't know when I will drop the needle on you again. So goodbye to Bolero, my sentimental friend. I don't know when I will drop the needle on you again.
All right, and you guys are free to play along with this if you want in the chat. So, definitely the first here. And it was correct. Sweet. Continue.
Are you for me, baby? I disagree when you tell me the purpose for the passing of time. Are you for me, baby? I disagree when you tell me the purpose for the passing of time.
Okay, I don't think the gang or group vocals really helped with that. Sounded like it would have been like a new wave song in the 80s and whatnot. It reminded me of like The Cure and stuff like that. So I'm going to say the first one for this. And it was correct. Swell. And I'll try to keep up with the chat as I'm doing this. Bjork meets Jethro Tull. What's your take on We Came as Romans? I like them. To Plant a Seed is a pretty good album. Rest in peace to Kyle, their singer, who died, I want to say, 2 years ago. I saw them open for Parkway Drive in 2016. They were pretty tight there. But I don't know. I'm probably not going to be paying attention to them. I don't know how I feel about listening to any stuff they do without Kyle. But yeah. Now, back to this. Are you ready to continue, or would you like to do the practice questions again? I would like to continue. Now we will begin the main test. Don't worry if you find the questions difficult. If you aren't sure of the answer, it's always okay to make a guess. In fact, most people do best on this test when they don't think too hard about their answers and just follow their intuitions. Okay, that's pretty much what Adam Neely and Mike the Music Snob did in their videos, so that's what we will do here.
Like many men I can behave.
This sounds like Smashing Pumpkins.
Like many men I can behave.
Yeah, didn't that sound like Smashing Pumpkins a little bit? or like some 90s rock band. I'm going to say first.
I could fly through the sky on the open sea. I could fly through the sky on the open sea.
Sounds like a Broadway thing. The first one was so bad.
Like your tongue-tied mothers and your paper-plane fathers. Like your tongue-tied mothers and your paper-plane fathers.
That one reminded me of Garbage a little. The band Garbage, not like actual garbage. First.
I know your voice. I hear it from the depths of the void. I know your voice. I hear it from the depths of the void.
Who did that sound like? Sounds like 80s, I think. Maybe even like 2000s or something. The second I'm going to say. This one is a little difficult. Didn't really hear too much difference there. Guess that means I'm not much of a genius. I guess also because I was just thinking a bit too hard on what this might sound like. It reminds me of like early 2000s like soft rock, adult contemporary, the kind of shit that my parents would always play on the radio. I'm gonna guess second. Ooh, sweet. That was correct. Very creative lyricism. Second one I think was a little more off there.
Stay as long as you like. It's a sad vocation. Stay as long as you like. It's a sad vocation.
Huh. That one's another one where I didn't really hear much difference there. They both sounded pretty on to me. I'm going to say first, but first I want to try to not let the chat feel alienated. Neil Young meets Smashing Pumpkins. Okay. The female one sounds like Maps by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Who would slander themselves by naming themselves Garbage anyway? Yeah, I kind of agree that probably wasn't the best choice of a name for them. They're an okay band. I wonder how actual Garbage would sound if it could sing. The answer is Cardi B. The gothic one is Evanescence. Not sure I heard Evanescence there. Evanescence is a bit heavier than that. The grunge one is Lifehouse with singer from Stone Temple Pilots. I didn't really hear much Scott Weiland with that. Lifehouse I can kind of see. But anyway, back to this. I'm going to guess first. Ooh, fuck. This one would be easier if she was singing a little louder. But second one.
At traffic control, I'm coming down, was
Billie
waiting on
Eilish.
your word, flying round and round. Air traffic control, I'm coming down, was waiting on your word, flying round and round.
Actually, that's like Billie Eilish with Ellie Goulding's accent. Let me look at the chat. Cardi G is for garbage. My Bloody Valentine, another band I haven't really looked into. I get huge nostalgia listening to Garbage's songs. As Heaven is Wide and I Think I'm Paranoid, as those two said songs were featured in two PS1 games I used to play. I know I Think I'm Paranoid was in Rock Band 1. Second, easily.
You say, oh, what if she loves you? She might be thinking of you, wants you around anyway. You say, oh, what if she loves you? She might be thinking of you, wants you around anyway.
More stuff I could sort of see on the radio in like the 2000s. First, woo! First? Fuck.
Things are different when she's gone, and I know why. Things are different when she's gone, and I know why.
Sounds more like late 2000s right there. I'm going to say second for that. Damn it.
Yeah, you know that all that I have, I will share with you. With you. Yeah, you know that all that I have, I will share with you. With you.
Second. Woo!
Though I know I said nothing at all.
Other guy that sounds like John Lennon.
Millions of elegant pages. Though I know I said nothing at all. Through the millions of elegant pages.
I'm going to go first for this. What? She sounded so off in the second one. What the hell? All right, so now that that's done, let me catch up with the chat. Block Party. I guess that's an interesting name there. Coldplay with a deeper voice. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Yep. Beatles sounds exactly like John Lennon. The female one with the piano is Keen featuring Billie Eilish, so I'm not the only one that hears Billie Eilish with that. Joni Mitchell. Okay, so completed the tuning perception test. Next. This test is about hearing melodies in music. For each question on this test, you will hear the same tune 3 times. Each time, the tune will be in a different key. This is like, excuse me, singing a song in a higher or lower voice. But one of the tunes will be the odd one out. Its notes will have changed. So basically, you know, one of these will be a transposition of a melody, while one will not be a transposition, basically. Where's the next? Why can't I? Ah, there we go. I got worried for a second. Hey, it's happy birthday. The second one was very clearly not happy birthday. Okay, I guess that was the practice. That one was different. Actually, I think that one was different. I'm going to say 3 for that one. Woo! Correct. See, this one's going to be tricky. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't really paying that much attention there because the melody was going on for so long. So, again, I'm probably going to get mocked right now. If I was in a conservatory right now, everybody in the class would be calling me a retard. I'm going to say 2. Okay, it was the first one. All right. Whatevs. Are you ready to continue, or I would like to do the practice questions again? Let me look at the chat first. The second one is someone practicing their pentatonic scales on piano. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Now we'll begin the main text. We'll play you 11 questions like the ones that you've just tried. Don't worry if you find the questions difficult. If you aren't always sure of the answer, it's always okay to make a guess. In fact, most people do this on the test when they don't think too hard about their answers and just follow their intuitions, just like what they said before. I don't know if you heard my Facebook message notification sound, but it sounded really in key with the first one, but the first one was different. Third one, easily. Second one. Getting trickier. I think second for that. If it's not second, then first. This one I'm going to go with third. Yes! second one. I heard a different note there. Definitely the third one there. It's Jurassic Park. I suppose one of them sounded like the Jurassic Park theme. Attention span was kind of wandering for that one. I think the first? Yes! I think third for that one. Ah. Ooh, those were some funky ones. I think I heard, like, a tritone kind of note in the second one. It sounded really funky. This one I'm going to go with third. Woo! All right, I finished. So, that one was trickier because, you know, people do tell me I have a pretty good memory. I have a memory for, you know, a number of things from the past. Like, I remember when I was a kid, we used to have this foam map of the United States with Mickey Mouse characters on it, and it was through that I memorized the state capitals, as well as, like, you know, the locations of all of the states, and I remember all that to this day. But that's more long-term memory than short-term, I guess. So I guess that might be an issue. I think it helps to close your eyes when listening to these. I mean, I'm not really being given much of a visual anyway, so I don't know. But yeah, that was the memory test portion. So I did better than I predicted I would, because whenever I watched Adam Neely's video on this and Become the Knight's video on this, I would always kind of screw up a little when I was following along with it. So hopefully I didn't do that bad. You are now taking test 3 of 3. This test is about hearing the beat in music. This one should be very easy considering, you know, I am a drummer technically. On each question, we'll play you 2 examples of music. Each example will have a beep track playing along with the music. In some examples, the beep will be on the beat, and in other examples, they will not be on the beat. Your job is to tell us which of the examples has the beeps that are the most on the beat. Sometimes it will be very hard to tell. I have a pretty good sense of tempo and rhythm, so shouldn't be too hard for me. First, we'll listen to some examples. Okay, in this music, the beeps are on the beat. With that, it just sounded like someone was having a bunch of swears bleeped out in a movie during like an action scene. But yeah, that's what it sounds like there. On each question, you will hear the same music played twice. 2 versions will have different beep tracks. Your job is to choose which music had beeps that were the most on beat. First, let's practice. On the beat first. Second one sounded much better. First one sounded really avant-garde, like there isn't supposed to be a tempo. That's what's so cool about it, man. It's actually part of the reason why the band 65 Days of Static is kind of hard for me to listen to, because they're so fucking weird with their concept and whatnot of everyone playing in like a different tempo and whatnot. Are you ready to continue, or would you like to do the practice questions again? Press go back to try the practice samples again, or next to continue. Next. Now we'll begin the main test. Don't worry if you find the question difficult. If you aren't sure of the answer, it's always okay to make a guess. In fact, most people do best on tests when they don't think too hard about the answer, just follow the intuitions. I think first for that one. '70s. The beep was very behind on that second one. Sounded like some needle, like 70s classic rock, or 60s. Sounded like some funny montage music. Second. I think second one for that. Sounded like a John Mayer thing with that. Second, I think. Definitely first for that one. That one sounded like 80s hard rock with that one. I know what I'm going to pick, but I'm going to see what the chat's now saying. Hey, Chelsea, what's up? One of them sounded like Springsteen. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I'm going to go with second. I think this is a part that I remember from Adam Neely's video when he was talking about how the beep was kind of in tune with the song, and that kind of made it a bit difficult to hear. Wasn't difficult for me to hear, but second. one sounded like an underwater scene, I think. Second? First. Definitely first. Some little Hawaiian dance music. What? Second. What? Second. More 70s, 80s hard rock right there. First for that one. That sounded like SpongeBob music. I'm going to say second. Woo! Awesome. So we finished that. Right on. Nice work on the 3 tests. We have just a few questions for you before we compute your scores. All right then. Have you ever experienced chills or goosebumps in response to music? The answer is yes, but I'm going to go with sometimes for that. On an average day, how much time do you spend making music, using musical instruments, or singing? This could be by yourself with other people. I make a point to do it, to come down here and noodle around on guitar at least once a day. For, I would say, 1 to 2 hours. When you were little, how often did your parents sing to you? Good question. I definitely have some recollections of them doing it. I'm going to say 2 to 3 times. Probably because, there were probably some different points. There was like a song they had for brushing my teeth. A song they had for, this is going to sound really fucking funny to you guys. But whenever I was being potty trained, my mom used to sing a parody of the Winnie the Pooh song. Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. Except, get this. Instead it was Winnie the Poop. Get it? Because his name is Pooh. And poo is another term for feces? That's fucking funny, laugh! But yeah, they had different songs for stuff. Think of your skill at making music using a musical instrument or singing. How would you rate your own skill? I'm told I have a lot of skill. I would not say I'm an expert, though. I like to think I'm average. I like to think of myself as kind of an average guitarist, maybe above average a little. I don't think I'm that great, if I'm to be honest. I watch a lot of guitar players, listen to a lot of guitar players, and it's like, I like to think of if I can do that, and if I think I could be able to do that. Sometimes it's like, okay, oh, that's a bit out of my range. Do you think you have perfect pitch? Sometimes you refer to this as absolute pitch. I would say, I've been told yes, but at times, I was talking about this earlier before I started this about my perfect pitch. I'm gonna say probably for this. Have you ever taken music lessons? Yes. Not for for guitar was kind of brief. I did take lessons for drums, but whenever I had guitar instruction, it was pretty It was pretty brief. Didn't really last too long, so I'm mostly self-taught with guitar. What instrument did you study in your music lessons? Check all that apply. Percussion, drum set, guitar. Continue. How old were you when you began music lessons? Originally I played violin in 3rd grade when they gave you the option to play an orchestra instrument. But then in 4th grade, I think I talked about this in a Q&A a long time ago, when someone asked about, about like which instruments I play or something like that. But in 4th grade is when they give you an option to take up a band instrument, and those looked like a lot more fun than violin. I ended up choosing percussion for this one because I just did not like the feel of any of the mouthpieces. So, like, haha, you suckers have to do the circular breathing while I don't, ha ha ha. But I didn't start actually taking lessons until I was in 5th grade, and by that time I was 10. Why did you start art music lessons? It definitely wasn't a parent made me. I mean, I guess it was encouraged by the time I started playing an instrument, but I never felt like I was being forced to. Friends were starting music lessons, so I did too. Definitely not that. Music lessons were a school requirement. Nope. So by default, it would be this one. How much did you enjoy your music lessons? Liked them a lot. Think about your peers in the time when you first did music lessons. How did your musical skills compare to theirs? Now with this, I'm going to be comparing myself to the other guys who played percussion at the time. I didn't know anybody who played guitar back in elementary school. I wouldn't meet them until middle school. I would consider myself a little better. Have you ever had any music theory training? Prior to taking AP theory, no. So I'll probably go with some. On an average day, how much time do you spend listening to music and or watching videos that include music? Pfft. What do you think I do all day? I'm going to go with either of these two. I spend a lot of time listening to music. I think I might have talked about this before in a video about something I remember hearing on one of the Going Off podcast episodes with fucking Muse and Rap Critic, and they were talking about Anthony Fantano, and Rap Critic mentioned he always has to be listening to music, and the more I think about it, the more true that kind of sounds. So I'm going to be fair and go with this one. How familiar are you with traditional music from around the world? Well, my only real exposure to this would be in college. I didn't really listen to too much of like traditional music in high school outside of, band, but I'm not sure that's what you'd call traditional. Probably this. Do you currently have any illnesses, disabilities, or health conditions? I don't know if Asperger's counts as an illness. I'm not sure if I want to answer that for this. I probably will. Do you think Billie Eilish has enough talent to go prog art pop in the future, like Kate Bush or something? That'd be interesting to see. It definitely would be interesting to see her kind of expand a little, maybe incorporate some more acoustic instrumentation into her stuff. Please tell us the names of any illnesses, disabilities. Asperger's syndrome. What is the highest level of education that you have completed? I think this one is the one I click. How would you describe your race? Very clearly black. No. Are you Hispanic or Latino? No. Prog art pop. What is your current household income? I have no idea. I've never really talked with my mom about finances. I'm gonna go with... I don't even know how much of your business this is. I'm not even sure how accurate it's going to be. I'm going to be kind of generous and guess this. Good evening, Mr. Vids. A modern-day Kate Bush would be nice. She'd be a decent enough replacement. Prog queen. Kate Bush is way out of her league. Would you like to participate in a follow-up study in the future? If so, please enter your email address. I don't know. I'm probably only going to do this if one of my subscriptions makes a video saying, hey, remember that musical IQ thing that I did? Well, there's a follow-up to that. I'm going to skip that. Would you like to leave us any feedback? This is optional. If you don't want to leave any feedback, just press continue. If you do, please let us know. Haven't been having any of these problems. I'm going to skip that. Okay. So, our estimate of your musical IQ is 118. You did as well as or better. I was just trying to think if that was grammatically correct. Or better than 88.49% of people. Wow. Okay. Thanks. We estimated your score in the same way as real IQ tests do, based on all the other people who have taken the test. We set 100 as the average score, following a normal distribution with a standard deviation of 15. That means that most people, 68% of them, score between 85 and 115, and nearly everybody, 95% of people, scores between 70 and 130. This is a new test, however, and so if you didn't do very well, don't worry. The test might be wrong. And even if your musical skills could use some work, rest assured, as far as we know, many people who have difficulty making music still enjoy listening to music very much. I mean, I'm not looking at this as like the end-all, be-all. I'm not going to use this to say, hey, look, guys, I'm a genius, or I'm fucking retarded compared to this other person, or anything like that. But yeah, details, scores on the 3 subtests we use. Let me scroll. What the hell? Okay. So there's like a 3D model, it looks like, that I can scroll in right there. Mistuning perception, 111. Melodic discrimination, 117. Wow. I did better there than the tuning perception one. That's weird. Percentile rank 74.75 and 90.88 for this. And the beat alignment I, of course, did the best with. Again, being a drummer kind of helps with that. With 125. Percentile rank 99.02. Holy fuck. We think that performance on a test like this might accurately predict people's ability to play a musical instrument or sing. People who are very skilled musicians might be more skilled at being able to tell how the tunes differ from one another. This is just a hypothesis, though. It might turn out to be wrong. Okay. By participating in this research, you are helping us to learn more about how musical abilities vary across different populations, ages, locations, and more, and how musical abilities might be related to musical experiences, like listening to lots of music online or attending music classes in school. All right, so that is it for this. Let's go back to the main window. Catch up with the chat. I noticed Vlograce put some of his videos back up. In the stream that I did with Mort Alhuman when we were talking about the state of the ranting community, I think he actually mentioned that in that stream. To be honest, Kata's vocal range, Billy sounds just whispers. Most of the time she does whisper a little, but she is capable of, carrying a tune. I actually don't hear Billie Eilish, but she has... sorry. I actually don't like Billie Eilish, but she has enough creative vision to at least have a vibe of Kate Bush's creativity, even though she's not as talented as Bush. Dull? I'm not sure I'd go with dull. It can be monotone at times. In fact, that's one of the reasons why... That's one of the things I said when I was talking about Bad Guy in Worst Songs of 2019. I definitely suck at beat alignment. I can't play the drums yet. Everyone in my school can. Hopefully you can get there soon. So, another thing I wanted to talk about in this stream was just, just have a chill sesh, talk about all the corona shenanigans going on, because I'm sure that's on everybody's mind. It's the perfect excuse for a lot of people that do YouTube to make some content, because they have nothing, keeping them from doing it if they're being told to stay inside, especially if YouTube is actually their job and, they work from home anyway, so there's that. It hasn't really affected me all that much outside of earlier in the chat here, my buddy Space Metal Ferrari, he had mentioned that the Dragon Force show that me and him were originally supposed to go to this Friday got postponed, as did many other tours going on right now. Like, I've lost count of how many Facebook or Instagram posts I've seen about tours getting postponed. Thankfully, the Dragon Force one wasn't outright canceled, but I would really like to know sooner rather than later when the reschedule date is, because I don't want it to conflict with anything. I also would prefer if I didn't have to wait too long for this. Let me tell you guys about the longest I've had to wait, the longest postponing that I've dealt with. The longest postponing that I've dealt with was the Slayer and Megadeth co-headline that I went to in 2010 when they were touring for the 20-year anniversary of Rust in Peace and Seasons in the Abyss. And Testament was also opening, who were touring for the 20-year anniversary of Souls of Black. So everybody was celebrating something. Megadeth's bassist at the time, James Lomenzo, fun fact, who was also from White Lion, fun fact, he got some kind of injury. I think it was either a wrist injury or a back injury, and it resulted in Dave Ellefson rejoining Megadeth. But the tour ended up being pushed back. Originally, this was going to be taking place on Valentine's Day, but it ended up getting pushed back all the way to August. I'm hoping that with the Dragon Force show, it's nothing like that. The only other time I've dealt with something getting postponed, I had gotten my ticket for it after it had been postponed because it actually worked out better for me. This would be when I saw Stryper in 2014. Originally, that was going to be taking place in like very early January when I was going back to college for a winter term at the time in very early 2014. But we got this huge-ass snowstorm, and it pushed it back to April. And that worked out a lot better for me because it was sandwiched 1 week in between when I saw Bayside for the first time that year, as well as when I saw Alter Bridge for the first time the week after. You know, I don't exactly look at 2014 to be a particularly amazing time in terms of, like, internet activity, but in terms of, like, my personal life at the time, shit was awesome. My Corona. A missed opportunity for Weird Al. I have to deal with entitled customers in my job. Now with the virus, it's been amped to 11. Do you work at a supermarket or something where everybody is getting shit? Big Four bassist ranked. Tom Araya, Frank Bello, Dave Ellefson, Cliff Burton. What order is that in? Is it from least favorite to favorite or favorite to least favorite? Because if it's least favorite to favorite, that would probably be same for me, I think. Maybe Tom Araya and Frank Bello might switch, I don't know, but it's definitely within that same one. But yeah, that's how Corona is affecting me so far, along with my therapy sessions taking place on FaceTime. Other than that, it's pretty much business as usual for me. I'd like to find some concerts for the future that aren't being postponed in, like, summer or something, maybe fall. But we will have to play it by ear, as are a lot of people. Thankfully, I haven't been feeling any differently than I normally do. I know you've seen me kind of cough a little bit in here. I assure you that probably has nothing to do with coronavirus. It's just probably, you know, remnants of a cold of sorts. That I do, lol. Also, I don't know if you remember, but I ran a channel called Roscoe Productions. Oh, I remember Roscoe Productions. I remember that. Holy crap. I thought that guy disappeared because I stopped seeing him on Facebook. I always figured I was blocked or something. But yeah, I remember Roscoe from back in the day. Least talented to most. Okay. Frank Bello is my favorite, though. Yeah. Cliff would probably be my favorite. If not him, then Dave Ellefson. I must say Veruca Salt did a slower version of My Sharona, and you can hear the pervy lyrics. The song in general, I think, is kind of pervy. You know, with the lyric, I always give it up for the touch of the younger kind. That doesn't exactly sound particularly pleasant. Even at the time, I'm sure it was unpleasant. But no, I've not heard any, like, covers of the song. I wanted my old band to do a cover of My Sharona because it's really fun to play, and the solo is quite awesome. Every time someone coughs randomly in conversation, I'm reminded of Walter White. I took a break for a while, but I got back with making content. I hope everything's been good, man. Cool. I wish they restock Mountain Dew Voodoo and Robitussin Honey. It helps with coughing. Thankfully, whenever I've gone out to restock my Mountain Dew, it wasn't sold out. I've been very lucky with, you know, nothing I've been needing to go out for being sold out. Which, you know, it has only been like a week. So, again, My Sharona's guitar solo is legendary. It totally is. I love it. I love it a lot. In fact, I have this notepad thing over here of, like, the greatest guitar solos. I don't know if it's something that I'll make a video out of. I'm not sure how I would do it, but I'm going to add the neck, My Sharona, to the thing. Now I can X out of that tab, actually. The next lead guitarist looks like Tom Baker, the Doctor. I don't think soft drinks have been affected with the whole panic buying. I love the limited flavors. The only other Mountain Dew flavor that I like is the blue raspberry one. every other Mountain Dew flavor I've tried, I did not care for. The whiteout one wasn't too bad, but I don't really remember a lot about it. The blue raspberry one I like a lot. Ever tried Surge? Yes, I love Surge a lot. Any place I see Surge, I always get it because I just like it that much. But yeah, I love that. But yeah, really the only real impact Corona is having on me is just with concerts. And I'm hoping it doesn't get any worse. Thankfully, the Dragon Force one is the only one I've gotten notified about being postponed. Nothing else, thank God. The next one I have coming up that I'm also going to with Space Metal Ferrari, it's at the same venue as the Dragon Force one out in Worcester, Massachusetts, Symphony X. I didn't get notified about that being postponed, so I'm led to believe that, and that's taking place in May, I'm led to believe that by then things should be settling down with this and things should be getting back on track. That's why I'm kind of wanting to shoot more for the summer as far as further activity goes. Other than that, like I said in the community tab post, as well as on my Facebook, if I'm gonna be, forced to be indoors more than usual, what better way to be productive than by working on something for this channel? Because that would be nice. There was Vault, but rip. What else do I want to talk about with you guys? What other shit have I been adding into my music? I mentioned the Silverstein. The new Hot Mulligan was pretty good. Really liked the new 4 Year Strong. British Lion was okay. I know Rock Critic didn't speak of that album pretty favorably, but I thought it was okay. Loathe I got into. Some sort of emo metalcore stuff. The front runner for 2020 got topped finally. Originally, album of the year, or release of the year, I should say, so far was the Dragged Under EP. That's since been overtaken by Belmont's new EP. Loved that. Mentioned the Code Orange one, and another band I got into just the other day, thanks to my buddy Mason, who I'm not sure what his channel is called these days. I remember his channel being called Agent Mason, but the band is Ocean Grove. Excuse me. They're a, new metal revival, new metalcore band, and when he was telling me about their new album, Flip Phone Fantasy, and talked about what their style was, I'm like, oh, that sounds right up my alley. So I gave them a listen, and yeah, they're pretty swell. So that is what my musical intake has been lately. Best song of 2020 so far. Haven't really been hearing too much. Whenever a reviewer that I am subscribed to makes a video about something, I make a mental note of if I'm going to want to talk about it in any of the year-end videos. I haven't really heard anything that I know for sure is going to be making the best list, at least none that I'm remembering right now. I already know what number 1 on worst is probably going to be, unless something worse comes out. You probably have a good guess as to what it is. I'm not going to say it. Someone in the chat probably will. But yeah. It's not 2020 for me, but I put Gautier or Foster the People in my top 20 bands. Oh, that takes me back to high school. I remember when Foster the People got big with Pumped Up Kicks. And then Gautier had Somebody That I Used to Know top the chart. I actually like that song. I think it's pretty cool, pretty nice. Very different sounding. It's the same reason I dig Fun. But yeah, good times in 2012. Foster the People or Cage the Elephant. Cage the Elephant is also good. I like them. Delicious by Joseph Platypus. Someone's calling themselves Platypus. I guess that's pretty interesting. Familiar with Don Broco? Yes. They are quite fun, pretty interesting. Got into them through a friend of mine who was raving about them, and I actually saw them. Well, I kind of arrived late into their set. They were one of the opening bands when I saw State Champs in 2017. I was kind of bummed that I didn't get to see too much of their set because they were on first. They also had With Confidence and Against the Current on that tour. Place was pretty packed. Probably the most women I've ever seen at a concert. But yeah, that was my experience seeing Don Broco. I had started listening to them beforehand. But yeah, they're good. If you watch the Why I Hate the Rock is Dead argument video, I think I mentioned Don Broco in that video when I talk about like alternative rock bands that are growing a following and getting a good reputation and, have potential to be, arena headliners and whatnot because their music is very quality. You can watch that for, some, modern bands that I like and think have a lot of potential. Don Broco being definitely one of them. And they toured with Mike Shinoda. Cool. When King Gizzard releases an album in the year, the lead single is immediately my favorite song of the year. I hear the name King Gizzard a lot. I haven't actually listened to them before. Let me check. Facebook, you're going to need to leave me alone for a bit. Who's your favorite South Park character? Mine is Chef. Chef is a good character to pick as your favorite. He was a great character, and Isaac Hayes was a great voice actor for him. I kind of want to say Timmy for this, mostly because Timmy and the Lords of the Underworld is one of the best songs of all time. If not him, Chef would probably be one I would say. Mr. Garrison, I think, is an interesting character. I'm not sure I'd call him my favorite, though. Randy, there's another, interesting one. An interesting one to follow, I would say. Him and Garrison are interesting, have interesting arcs, I would say. Butters, I can kind of relate to at times. I like episodes surrounding him. Still would not call him a favorite. Yeah, that's sort of the idea of, who I consider to be my favorite characters. I have a soft spot for, um, Scott the Dick. Watch out for Scott. He's a dick. I have kind of a soft spot for him, mostly because he looks funny and his voice sounds funny. Mr. Garrison is the most complex character. Yeah, I think he actually might be. There was this one video I remember watching. What was this guy's name? He did a whole video. Jeffrey Kitsch, that's what his name was. Kind of a funny sounding dude. He did a whole video about basically just breaking down the development of Mr. Garrison and his arc, how he went from being, a guy really into poontang to being closeted gay to eventually coming out as gay to then deciding to become a woman, then becoming a lesbian, and then changing back into a man, and then becoming Trump, basically. Stan is the perfect straight man. Kyle is too hot-tempered to be one, but both are perfect foils to Cartman. And Randy? More so Stan for Randy. But yeah, that's kind of why Kyle isn't exactly a favorite of mine. But yeah, definitely agreed with Stan there. Cartman is awesome, of course. I mean, you're not supposed to like Cartman, but he's fun to laugh at. He's funny to listen to because how fucking batshit he is. Of course, the social justice crowd will use Cartman as evidence as how South Park turned people into alt-righters or something like that, because people actually like this character. And it's like, we think he's funny, but we aren't exactly like sympathetic to him because we know he's an asshole. It's obvious he's an asshole. The show sets him up. The show frames him as an asshole. I do like Wendy. She's a tad sassy. Yeah, I dig her a bit too. Sometimes I think she can be a bit hot-tempered too, a bit hard-headed, like in the episode when she wants to fight Cartman. Make Love Not Warcraft was my favorite episode. That was my very first episode. A friend of mine who has since moved away, he had it downloaded on his Xbox, I want to say, and when I was hanging at his house one day, we watched the episode together, and I liked it a good bit. They should do an episode with Craig and those guys, a.k.a. Craig, Tweet, Clyde, Jimmy, and Token. Kind of like the episode with the goth kids and whatnot. That would be kind of interesting. They already kind of have a Tweak and Craig thing going on. I think that's kind of gotten played out, but that is a thing that exists. There was the Token episode where he brings all the black celebrities to town. I think that's a really awesome episode. But that's another one. Medicinal Fried Chicken. That's a pretty good episode. A nice Scarface parody. Yep, the goth kids are, of course. Of course. The goth kids are, of course, fun in kind of a weird way. I'm not the hugest fan of them, but, they can make for some funny jokes and references and whatnot. Best soundtrack from a movie? well, while we're talking about South Park, I'll put that up there. I love all the songs in the South Park movie. But outside of that, The Bodyguard is one that goes down in history. Um, one of the earlier streams here, I remember talking about Rock of Ages. I'd include that there. If we want to talk Disney, I will say my favorite Disney soundtrack will go to... I'm going to give that to Aladdin, I think. It kind of outranks Lion King because I'm not the biggest fan of Hakuna Matata or Just Can't Wait to Be King, so Aladdin beats it out by a little. Unbreakable, Bruce Willis movie. Best Shyamalan movie ever. I love The Incredibles, but Unbreakable is the best alternative superhero movie. I should make a point to check that out. For Disney, I'd go with Tarzan. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one too. Sorry, Schaeferless. I know you hate Phil Collins, but I'm sorry, but Phil Collins makes that fucking movie. Or Oliver and Company. Yes, fucking Why Should I Worry? Billy friggin' Joel. I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually really, really, really like Billy Joel a lot. Disney or other animation companies should hire Billy Corgan to write their soundtracks. That would be pretty interesting. Oliver and Company is quite underrated. I don't hear very many people talk about it. And I think a reason why a lot of people don't talk about it, I remember watching Nostalgia Critic's Disney-cember review for Oliver and Company because I was kind of binging on those. And he opened the video by saying that I think it was Land Before Time that came out at like around the same time as Oliver and Company, and he was excited to see Oliver and Company because it was Disney. He ended up seeing Land Before Time first and really liked that, and then went to see Oliver and Company and was kind of underwhelmed by it. I think the movie is quite good. I find it very enjoyable, especially with, Billy Joel's performance there. But I think it's kind of unfortunate that it doesn't get as much love as your 90s Disney Renaissance stuff. There is Split Glass and Unbreakable. It's a good trilogy. Okay. Yeah, the dogs are quite good. I know one of them was voiced by Cheech Marin. He was funny. A YouTube hoop where there's the Olsen twins singing the pizza song. Yes, I would like to know the name of this YouTube poop because the more YouTube poop in my life, the better. I don't remember the name. That's okay. I won't hold it against you. Chances are it might reach my attention in some way, shape, or form, because I have my ways. Speaking of YTV, my favorite pooper was Jittery Dragon. Would make a ton of Land Before Time videos. I don't think I've heard of him. My favorite YouTube pooper, I've definitely mentioned this before, is without a doubt CS188. He's the one I've watched the longest. He's the one that really, he's the first, like, YouTube poop creator that I really started following. Other ones that are awesome include Yoshi Maniac, 256 Pi Alternate, Jimmy Davis, The Things One. I would say those are my favorites that still make YouTube poops, at least somewhat regularly. I could throw Schaeferless Productions and Emp Lemon in there as, you know, good former YouTube poopers, but I love their content now very much. His channel was taken due to copyright. His best video was The Mysterious Island of Doom. Okay. "101 Dalmatians." There's another one I haven't seen in a while. I remember watching I forget if I actually saw this or just a commercial for it, the live action version of 101 Dalmatians, and being really, really, really creeped out by Cruella de Vil. And if you guys know Melly Misfit, and you know how she does cosplay, I've told her on at least one occasion that in one of those cosplays she looked like live-action Cruella de Vil. Dalmatians are kind of rare. I don't think I've actually ever seen one in person, because I'm just not sure that many exist. Fucking Aristocats. I loved that as a kid. And when I rewatched it recently, the friggin' chase scene with the dogs and Edgar, it's fucking bonkers, but I love it. That's another one that not very many people talk about. I like it a lot. I wish more people talked about it. I mentioned the Aristocats when I was talking about the band The Aristocrats that I saw live last year, that I always have to be very careful of which I say, because I always confuse the two. I say one when I mean to say the other. But yeah. And if you haven't listened to The Aristocrats, they're a very, very awesome instrumental prog rock band featuring some very, very, very skilled musicians. Guthrie Govan on guitar, Brian Beller on bass, and Marco Miniman on drums. Rescuers I have not seen. Yes, indeed, Schismatic Audio, Guthrie Govan's band. Guthrie Govan is incredible. One of the best guitarists out right now. Let me check these. Call Me Schisma. Okay. Halo 3 is the best original soundtrack. I'm not a gamer, so I wouldn't really know, but swell, I guess. I mean, there are some video game bands that I'm into. Crush 40 and the Black Mages, and one that I got into pretty recently, Pentakill. Then, of course, you got Power Glove that does, lots of like video game and pop culture covers and whatnot. Best original song in a Nickelodeon cartoon? That's a good question. My personal favorite is the song that I start my Hey Arnold video out by singing, "Smashed" or "You Broke My Heart" from the episode "The Old Building," and because I'm talking about it, I have to sing it right now. Darling, you left my heart in pieces on the floor. So tell me, why shouldn't I break some things of yours? I'll smash a lamp, that antique chair, that stupid thing you always wear. I'll smash a vase, the radio, those little teacups from Lemon, your wacky paintings on the walls. Darling, pow, I'll smash 'em all. That's fun to sing. Sword in the Stone, I have not seen either. Mine is Gary Come Home from SpongeBob and... Oh, the fucking Ember song. That's another awesome one. From another video I've made. Just finished watching the whole series of Hey Arnold. Awesome. I haven't done that in quite a while. I was actually binging Rugrats very recently. For me, Ren and Stimpy opening theme, I get Happy Every Time, or Rocko's Modern Life, B-52's opening theme. Currently watching Inspector Gadget and Ed, Edd n Eddy. Just finished Breaking Bad. I kind of want to watch the Big Picture Show from Ed, Edd n Eddy. The ending of that is just so great. Fuck, I'm trying to think of a Rolf quote that I just want to throw out there. That's my horse! Have I heard of the underground metal gamer? I feel like someone might have made a video about him that I've seen. I don't think so. It might have been... Was he someone that, like, Wyatt X Him did a video on? Let me actually... I'm going to go to his channel right now. And see if that's the same person I'm thinking of. Yes, I did see Wyatt X Him do a video on him. Wow. And yeah, Wyatt seems like an alright guy. I don't really watch all of his videos. He seems like an alright dude. I think he's a bit hard on Punk Rock NBA. But other than that, I think he's an alright guy. Part of me kind of wants him to do a parody of me in his parody series. Chris Peters is the biggest man-child ever. Is that the same underground metal gamer guy, or is this a different person? He's more immature than ARTV. Hey. We don't bash ARTV in this house. Anyone else from the ranting community still making content? We talked about this in that State of the Ranting Community stream that I did last month. Let's see if I can name everybody that I know still makes content. Atticus the Death Metaler, Damien Skyfire, some guy 27 occasionally does stuff. He does a good bit of streaming these days. His channel has definitely been growing a good bit ever since he did his Hanson interviews. I don't know if Mortify Productions and Felix Wolf would count. They're more like reviewers, but they're buddies of mine. Thrash Metal Guru. Blue Magus. Nate Talks to You. And Tamimi. John Riella I still see in my feed occasionally. Then we got, the few new folks that, have joined up with us. Gage the Doom Guy, Steve Trowbridge, Athena the guitarist. That is about everybody that's coming to mind, unless I'm forgetting somebody. Part of me feels like I might be. Yes, I have heard about the Randy Stair incident. That was actually mentioned by Atticus in the Danny Phantom video that we made. I know UTF isn't. Yes. A stream of mine isn't complete without roasting UTF a little. Also, is Razareth in prison yet? I have not heard shit about Razareth for a long time. He's pretty much dropped off the face of the earth, last I checked. Have you heard of Marquee Moon by Television? I think I've heard the name Television. I don't think I've listened to them before. There's Liquid Television, Darla, Aeon Flux, Downtown. Daria, Beavis and Butthead. So now we're talking about MTV cartoons. This is gonna sound really dumb, but I'm gonna tell you guys the reason why I haven't actually watched Beavis and Butthead before. It's because I'm a Winger fan, and I know that they make fun of Winger a lot. And I'm just like, fuck you guys. You don't talk shit about Winger. They're awesome. But nowadays, I'm rethinking that, and it's like, maybe that shouldn't really bother me as much. I should probably try to give it a shot at some point. What's your favorite post-punk albums? Mine is Boy by U2 and all the Joy Division albums. I don't really listen to too much post-punk. Joy Division is definitely an artist that I know falls in there. The Stranglers are another one. I think it also kind of depends on what is considered post-punk. I know a lot of new wave falls under that label. Maybe if I go to Wikipedia and type list of post-punk bands, let's see who I know here that is listed here. B-52s, The Cure. That's right. The Cult started out as one before going in a more hard rock direction. Depeche Mode, Devo. Faith No More apparently started out as one. Green River apparently, I guess, was one at one point. I know they're considered like the band that created grunge. Husker Du, Human League, Joy Division, Killing Joke, Love and Rockets, Meat Puppets. The Melvins are considered post-punk. Another grunge one. New Order. The Police. They don't really strike me as post-punk, but I like the Police a lot. Public Image Limited or Lieutenant Ltd. REM. Simple Minds, Susie and the Banshees I've heard of. Squeeze. Talking Heads. Violent Femmes. XTC. Yep, that's everybody I've heard of on that article. For the longest time, I never saw Aladdin until last Friday. Really enjoyed it. The original Aladdin? Really? That's a movie that everybody should see at least once in their life. If Jester never committed suicide, would Linkin Park have been a big thing to this day? Probably. Linkin Park have always maintained a lot of relevance over the years. They've always, maintained a foothold in the industry. They never became irrelevant or anything like that. So I think they would have probably kept that up if Chester were still here. I keep asking Todd in the Shadows to do a One Hit Wonderland episode on Layla by Derek and the Dominoes. That's considered a one-hit wonder? I had no idea that's even considered a one-hit wonder. Because I know Eric Clapton has had plenty of hits outside of Layla. Yeah, I have no idea what Melvins are doing on an article about post-punk. Yeah. Think it's about time I'm gonna cut the stream here, because things are slowing down a bit, and I would like to get some food, because I'm pretty hungry. Part of the reason I have this on me is so I can have something to put in my stomach to hold me over before I actually put some food in. So, thanks guys for tuning into this. Hope you enjoyed the musical IQ test. Hope the rest of the discussions here were interesting. You don't care for the Police. And yeah, I never cared for the Smiths either. Police, though, like, Stuart Copeland is one of my favorite drummers, and Andy Summers, I think, is a great guitarist. Has the Archfiend reacted to UTF leaving? I don't know, and I don't really care. So, yeah. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Hopefully I can begin work on something soon, because I would like to. I just need to get myself into, a mood to start a script, as well as decide which script I would like to start. If it's a script I could have fun with, that doesn't sound too incredibly daunting. And we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully, I don't leave you guys waiting too long. Otherwise, I'll probably, do another stream next week, unless something comes up that I really want to do a stream about. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'm Shades, and I'll see you next time.